I have a statement that I would like to make today. You're only accountable for yourself and not anybody else. You're only accountable for you. You can't stand for nobody else but yourself. I want you to think about that now on today. You're only accountable for self and not anybody else. And somebody may say, what are you talking about? You do understand when all of our eyes close and when we stand before judgment before the Heavenly Father, we're going to have to stand for the things that we did, not what anybody else did. See, I don't have to answer for what my friends did, my husband did, my family did, my coworkers did. I'm just going to have to stand for the things that I did. I want you to think about it today. No matter how you're treated, how you feel like you've been mistreated, how you feel like you've been talked to, you always have to do the right thing that you're called to do. See, it doesn't matter if your mama don't do what's right, if daddy don't do what's right, if sister, brother don't do what's right, if your friends don't do what's right, you always have to do what's right. I want you to think about that because see, you don't know when your eyes is going to close. See, the Heavenly Father told me, it doesn't matter how your husband treats you. You always treat him right. See, I'm not obligated. If my husband come in the house and say something crazy to me, I'm not obligated to say something crazy to him back. The Heavenly Father said it doesn't work that way. See, the Heavenly Father said you have to do things the right way. No matter how I feel like I'm treated, He said you're always called to love your husband and you treat your husband right because you're going to have to stand for the things that you did in that marriage. He'll have to stand for everything he did in the marriage. And somebody may be dealing with that today from the husband, from your wife. It can be whoever. You may feel like I'm mistreated. You may feel like that person who said, I don't care. Ain't nobody finna talk to me that way. I wish that supervisor would talk to me crazy. I'ma talk right back to them crazy. I wish they would cuss me out. I'ma cuss them right back out. The Heavenly Father is saying it does not work that way. Because remember now, you want your soul to go the right way and not the wrong way. See, when we out and about trying to get back at people, we don't know when the breath is gonna leave out of our body. We don't know if when we fighting somebody, cussing somebody, trying to be rude to somebody, you don't know if you're going to drop dead. You don't know what you're going to be doing when you leave this world. See, you don't know when your eyes are going to close. And when your eyes close, you're going to be held accountable for you. Not the things that mama didn't do, daddy didn't do, sister didn't do, brother didn't do, what your friends didn't do, what your supervisor didn't do, what your neighbor didn't do. You're going to have to stand accountable for everything about you. No matter how your neighbor treats you, no matter what they say to you, you have to always do what's right because you got to remember you got to be pleasing in God's sight. Go to God on today and say, God, help me and show me to do things the right way because we can't get to heaven doing things our way and doing things the wrong way. It doesn't matter what you're going through and what you're dealing with. God will always show you a better way to handle the situation, and you have to handle things the godly way and not man's way. Because if you handle things in man's way, you will handle things any kind of way. What is it that you need to go to God about today and say, God, help me? Because see, somebody right now is holding on to unforgiveness in their heart. They're bitter and they're holding something towards somebody who did something to them. It could be a friend. It could be your ex-husband. It could be your co-worker. What is it in your life that you need to let it go? It could be your mama. It could be your sister. What is it that you're holding on to that you need to let go? Because you don't know when your eyes is going to close. And when your eyes close, please remember, you're going to have to be judged for everything that you did and you didn't do. It doesn't matter who mistreated you. How did you react? And how did you treat them? And God says it's a better way. And the better way is His way. So for somebody today, Please understand. If you don't understand, if you don't hear anything else, when our eyes close, we're going to be accountable for the things that we did on this temporary world. You ain't going to have to stand for nobody else. So it ain't no need of you pointing fingers at nobody else. Get in the mirror and point the fingers at yourself. You need to go to God and get to know what is your purpose. What are your gifts? Because understand this, you was called to do certain things while you still living on this earth. When you stand before God, you're not going to have to answer for nobody else's purpose and nobody else's gifts. You're going to have to answer for everything that you was called to do for God's kingdom. A lot of us, we need to stop worrying about everybody else and start worrying about what we're called to do for God's kingdom. Because when I started getting out of everybody else's business, and when I started worrying about the things that I was called to do for my Father's business, there was enough business that I had on my hands. See, when you stop looking and pointing fingers at everybody else and you start looking at yourself, that'll help you out a whole lot in this temporary world and realize that you have to live a life that's pleasing to God's world. Think about it on today. Go to God, start seeking God so you know that you can be right when you stand before the one true and living God. So always remember my closing. Self-examination is the best examination, and Jesus Christ is Lord and he's all we have. Have a great rest of the day.